All right, what's up, guys? Welcome and a very good bullish morning to you all. So let's put that light on. So it kind of feels like I just woke up, which I really didn't. I woke up like at 7 a.m. It's 10 now. I'm really tired. But honestly, looking at the market right now really uh, makes me pretty happy. Makes me very bullish, very positive for the future. You know, my emotional state of mind kind of fluctuates with my equity curve, and right now it's very good. I'm very happy. All right, before we go into the shot, I would like to welcome you all, and of course, a huge thank you to Prime XP for sponsoring these live streams. If you are a crypto-only trader and you want to check out the Forex market as well, you can do that on the Prime XP platform. Sign up using the link in the description below and use the code LIBS42 to get up to a 7K USD deposit bonus. So definitely worth checking out. So today we want to look at the crypto markets, and we are also going to take a quick look at the Forex market. I want to update you guys on the current open positions that we have in the RLZ Trading Room, go through a couple of questions that you might have. And remember to hit the like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, but definitely hit that like button. It really helps me a lot. So I want to show you something. Check this out. So I used to install the TradingView desktop app, and I can't believe I haven't done this before. I think they're upgraded to like 2.0, 2.0 now, which is like really good, and it's like so fast. Check this out. Like it's pretty cool. So this is the desktop app. It's very similar to having it in the browser, right? You can have different tabs up here, but it's just so much cleaner, smoother, and it's so much faster, right? So definitely recommend if you're trading on in PC or you're trading on desktop, definitely check it out. So yeah, okay. So let's start off with Bitcoin here. So first of all, I want to tell you guys all about the CPI data that we have coming out today. Now, this is very important, right? And it's funny that we're actually trading. Bitcoin is trading right at resistance with a major news event coming up in 4 hours and 27 seconds, right? So it's not a lot of time, right? So only 4.5 hours until we have this right here. So you could think it's only about one, it's only about 1 4-hour candle almost until the news events. Not a lot of time, right? Now, if you look at this range right here, this is a range that we have drawn out for quite some time. Actually, I want to show you this as well. Remember the last live stream, or yeah, I think it was the live stream from yesterday or the day before. We looked at a possible long idea on Bitcoin right here. Look at this. Beautiful, right? Now, it didn't really come up and test this region right here like we wanted, but if you lower the fib to that high, it still hits the 50% very nicely right here. Now, of course, this wouldn't really be a trade on the 4-hour because it's just not really confluent with the system. Usually when you have these huge high strong momentum moves, it's hard to catch on the 4-hour. But if you go down into the 1-hour, and you might activate the scalping part of the indicator, you'll see here that it comes down very nicely and hits the middle of that cloud right here, which should be the 50 EMA on the 1-hour, which is pretty cool. And then the stochastics RSI agrees as well. So this goes to show that the break and retest system as a base works so well, and it's so good. I think it's just the way to be trading, really. So we let's go back to the 4-hour here on Bitcoin, and yeah, so this is the range that we have drawn out right here, and the range highs is around 18. I'd say between 18 and I don't know, like, I mean, if we look at it in an isolated way, it's definitely just a range, right, with very clearly, fairly clean and clear range lows and range EQ and range highs, and that range high area is around 18K. Now, if you zoom out, you go to the daily and you zoom out, this range high area right here is actually just at the very beginning of a major resistance area. And I really do mean major. Now, if we have to mark out this level right here, so let's pull that back down here, and let's try to, see where would there be a decent horizontal resistance area right here. Well, you kind of have to draw it from that wick all the way down here, is what I'm thinking. Or maybe just actually let's use these wicks right here, and then up to around this area is what I'm thinking, right? Now this is actually the resistance area, and you can see if you go to the weekly how that kind of makes sense. And if you on the weekly, you can see that you want to align it with that one and then align it nicely with these wicks right here. So it's a major level. Now this is actually the level that needs to get reclaimed. Now if you look at this one right here, now that is the weekly 20 EMA. So the weekly 20 EMA lines up nicely with this resistance area. So while everyone is busy looking at this range right here, let's actually let's go to visibility and current interval. Oh, that's nice. So I can actually go to the weekly and I can right click this one and I can go visibility by intervals. That's new. And I can do current interval, and above. So everything below it will not be visible. That's awesome. So let's do it on the, we want to do that on the daily. That's really good. That's really good. That's awesome. Right, so this is on the daily, right? While everyone is busy looking at this range, right? Where everyone's busy looking at this range, you might well say, it's range highs, it's resistance. But imagine if CPI comes out. Like, imagine if the CPI print comes out, and you'll get something like this, and everyone's going to be like, "Holy shit, we've reclaimed range highs. It's just next station the moon." Now you go out to the daily, and you see this. Like, wait a minute, just wait a minute, right? And you go to the weekly, and you mark out the weekly 20 EMA right here. Weekly 20 EMA. Let's remove everything. Okay, so you see what I'm saying, right? The weekly 20 EMA actually comes in very nicely. Comes in very nicely at the upper region of that resistance area. So we got to be careful here. We're not only looking at a break above the range highs, we're actually looking for a break and retest of range highs for a potential confirmation that Bitcoin wants to break above that 19K region. And it's really the 19K region that we are interested in right here. Why? Well, let's just do some simple TA right here. We could add a trendline area right here. So that trendline area would look something like this. And you can see why I want to have a trendline area instead of just a trendline is because you'll see when I add the parallel channel tool right here, you'll see why it makes perfect sense. So what I do is I add first a trend line, right? And then I use the parallel channel tool using TradingView to add a line that goes parallel with this one. And then I want it to go down to hit that high right there. Okay. So when I do that, you'll see that it lines up just much better because we now have incorporated all of this price action right here, this high right here, that high, and this region right here very nicely. So it just makes perfect sense to look at this as a trendline area and not a trend line. Now, where does this trendline area come in? Is it at range highs? Not really. It's at the 19K resistance area confluent with the weekly 20 EMA. So while you're on Twitter, you're seeing like, oh, Bitcoin is bullish, the bull market is on again, the bear market is over. Like, what are you looking at? Like, what are you looking at if you think the bear market is over? Are you looking at the 1 hour trend and you're basing that on the 1 hour trend? If you are basing that on the 1 hour trend, you're absolutely right. It's a very strong uptrend. But you're not supposed to be basing that sort of high time frame long-term perspective on the 1 hour chart. You should be looking at the weekly and the daily. And the weekly and the daily tells us a very, very clear story. And that story is the trend is not only down, it's very aggressively to the downside. Now, there's one thing I wouldn't say very aggressively, right? Because there's one thing here which is slightly interesting, and that is the fact that we might actually have a higher low here on the weekly, right? It's like a higher low on the weekly, and that's interesting. And we have like could have a trend line going like this now. So there's definitely possibility, but what I'm seeing is I'm seeing potentially something like this. So imagine a low, I'm gonna zoom in so it's a little bit cleaner and clearer for you guys. So that's the low, that's the high, that's the higher low, that's the I guess higher high, and then I would like to see a higher low down in this region, and that might be when we break out, and it would kind of fit nicely with the idea also of Bitcoin hitting resistance just 4.5 hours before the CPI data comes out, and the CPI data might, might make Bitcoin pump, but if it's a valid pump, it needs to reclaim the 19K region. I think that's unlikely. I think it's more likely we see something like this, and if we're going to break this level, this is going to be the bounce that takes us above that level, right? Now let's add some fibs to this move as well. So let's just imagine that Bitcoin comes up and gets rejected at 19K. So imagine that the CPI data comes out, Bitcoin pumps on positive CPI data, but we hit that resistance area. Now, if we do start a retrace here, notice where the 50% and the 6 one, that the reload zone is, the RLZ right here. So the reload zone is right here where we want to have that high time frame higher low. Looks like a bear flag printing now. So honestly, low, I don't really look at patterns or stuff like that. I only look at the trend. I only look at the trend, looking at horizontal levels. I'm not really going to go into detail on that, but you're probably right. I'm definitely with you here. Like, it definitely feels like a bull market, because we've all been, it's just such a boring market. It's been an incredibly boring market. So whenever we get moves like this, everyone's like super euphoric, and I understand that. Like, I'm pretty excited about this myself. We gotta stay realistic, right? So yeah, that's my analysis on Bitcoin. Now, to the question is, what will happen during the CPI print? What will the CPI print be? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. And I'm not going to be available much today. After lunch, after this live stream, I'm going to go up and get some lunch. And after lunch, I'm heading into town. I got a doctor's appointment with I'm going to have to go to with my son. So I'm going to be away for most of the day until this evening. And so I'm not going to be available when the CPI print is actually happening. But I know that Dirk Hartig from Prime XPT Academy is going to do a live stream around that time. So definitely check that out on YouTube. It's Prime XPT Academy. If CPI comes in as forecast with so much bullish sentiment, do you think market will have a relief mini bull? It's simple, right? If the CPI print is good, bull run. If the CPI print is bad, rejection. Now, there's no point in us trying to. There's no point in us trying to predict what is going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's very simple. If as expected, probably a move higher. If better than expected, bullish. It's very simple. But for me, I don't really care. All I care about is I'm following my system. The only reason why I'm doing this analysis is to alert you guys on the fact that if you're buying now, you're buying major resistance. Now, I'm not going to be buying Bitcoin here. I've already been accumulating Bitcoin ever since we broke below 20K. So all the way back down in June last year. So I'm not really interested in buying here. I'm dollar cost averaging, buying every week for, since June last year. So, and I'm looking for, I'm just looking to trade my system. That as simple as that. I'm just looking to trade my system. So let's actually look at that. Let's look at what's happening in my own trading and the trades that we have in the RLZ trading room. So let's leave Bitcoin for a minute, and I think it's Biden is doing a press conference 30 minutes after to speak about inflation. Seems like he is going to show off about a win in crypto. Yeah, I mean, sure that it might affect the price, but still, like, and this is important, guys. If you're like, if you're watching this, right? So let's say you're watching Bitcoin right here, and you're asking questions like, is it too late to buy? Should I buy more here? Should I sell? How is the CPI? Like, if you're asking these sorts of questions, you don't have a plan. You're not trading a system. You're just doing something without really having any plan. And that is a recipe for failure. If you have to ask me what you should do based on the CPI, or if you should buy more here, or if you should sell, what's the best thing to do here? If you're asking me those sorts of questions, it means that you do not have a plan, and you're never going to become a profitable trader with that approach. That's just the simple reality of all of this, right? Now, I know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there. There's a lot of other people doing live streams just like this one, asking if Bitcoin is bullish and blah, blah, blah. And they're basically telling you, either they're telling you with in absolute terms, like, this is resistance, we're going to dump, you're going to sell here. What I'm telling you is I'm just informing you guys that this is resistance, and you guys know what resistance is. Now, resistance usually acts as resistance, right? You got to make a plan. You got to follow that plan. You need to develop a trading system, and you need to follow that trading system. So I'm not here to give you advice. The only advice I have for you is create a trading system. That's it. Create a trading plan and a trading system. And unless you do that, you're never going to be long-term profitable in this game. Now, however, if you're looking at long-term accumulating Bitcoin, just buy, man. Like, just buy Bitcoin and have a 5 to 10 year investing horizon. You don't care about if the price is 15K or 20K. Just buy every month and have a long-term perspective. That's just, it's way easier than trying to think what this specific level will do at the CPI and stuff like that. Like, just accumulate, and do it long term. It's just the best way to do it, in my opinion, if you're looking at investing in Bitcoin long term. Right. So what's going on in the community? We have right now a couple of open trades. So, like, this week has been absolutely fantastic. So let's go through the trading journal. We have one trade which hit the last TPs. We're going to be adding everything in the journal on that one. So this is the trading journal right here. We're going to go into the journal. As you can see right here, we have a couple of trades. So we actually have two AUD-CHF longs right now, and the first AUD CHF trade hit last TP. So I'm going to do a update on that one. Let's see, which one is it? Right. AUD-CHF first trade update. Last TP has now been hit on this one. So let's look at what is the actual risk to reward on that trade. So see if I have a AUD-CHF. Do I have a... No, I don't think so. So what's the actual average R on that trade? Let's see. I gotta see how much I made on that one. Account history, AUD-CHF. So that's a... When did that one close? Or it's going to be... I'm going to have to do some calculations to see what the actual average R was on this one. So that's a buy. That's and this is on... When did I open this trade? Let's see. We opened this trade on, like, that's the first one. So we opened it on the 6th. So last Friday. Last Friday. Open. Yes, it's going to be that one. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think the first orders here, the losses are just failed. I just had to close them because I opened the wrong. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the ones, right? Yeah, these are the ones. So let's do some calculations. It's 404 plus 320. Now the reason why I don't have to do this all the time, it's just because I don't have I haven't saved the chart in trading view. So this was on this account where I risk 0.5% per trade. It's a 1.1R, and I usually on the trading journal that I'm going to put it in, I risk 1% per trade, so it's a double. So the risk to reward on this one is 2.2, no 2.3, 2.3R. So good, very good. 2.3R trade. I'm just gonna know what this is. Right, so 2.3R. Now let's calculate that. What is that in using this journal right here? So we're gonna go into that one. What is the screenshot of that one? That's the trade. So the account balance is 100, right? 105,400. Let's just do 400 and 1,504 440. Well, let's do 46. And the risk to reward on this one was 2.3, so that's 2.3%. So we have to do times 0.023. So the return on this one is 2,425. Now, because I'm doing this manually, I want to be a little bit safe to make sure that I don't put in too much profit. So we're just going to remove $25. So it's going to be 2,400. So the return on this one is going to be 2,400. And the exit price for this one is going to be the average exit price. It's going to be between that one. So it's going to be, let's just do 60. Let's do 0.64. Exit price 0.64, which is 0.64. The time of exit is at 12 today, 4 a.m., which is, so it doesn't really matter. 4 a.m. is good. So today, 4 a.m. right there, and that's it. That's the trade. So we got to save. It's pretty good. We're at so last trade is 2.32. Return on account is 6%, which is not a lot. But what I like about this one is if you go to trade like monthly reports, we go to January. The whole account on the this 100K account is. I mean, it might 6% might not sound a lot, but it says 6K, so it's something, right? And 4.25 of that 6% was gained this week. Now you look at these. Some of these trades are not closed yet, but I've actually put in a closing date and the profit and loss that is secured on those trades. So the profits will actually be higher. So we still have the gold and AD CHF trades still open, but they're secured. So whatever happens, they are going to be winners. And the profit that you see here is the least profit that it's going to give us if it like just dumps completely right now. So yeah, it's been a really good week. It's been a really good week. I do think it's been perhaps one of the better weeks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely been the best week since I started this journal in November. The first of actually the 1st of November right here was when I started this journal, and you can also see that the the win rate kind of fluctuates quite a lot. In the first week, I had a 33% win rate. This week is only 25, but now this week is actually 100% win rate. So overall, the win rate of the journal is 45%. Monthly win rate is 80%, and weekly win rate is 100%. So I would love to get that overall win rate a little bit higher. I like my I need it to be above 50. That's my goal. But I haven't taken that many trades. I mean, I've only been trading since this account since November. Now, what's interesting is I'm doing a lot of different challenges, right? So I'm going to show you guys. I have different challenges I'm doing right now. This is one funding firm I'm doing. I have one account of 250,000 account, which I need to get a 10% profit on this one, and I'm doing a 0.5% risk per trade until I'm in profit, and I'm now at around almost 3% in profit. So next week I will begin risking 1% per trade on this account. So hopefully I'll be able to add 250,000 USD to my funding capital. This is a 100,000 trading account that I'm doing, and I'm currently down 1% on this one, risking 0.5%. So as soon as I'm in profit on this one, I'm going to increase the risk to 1% per trade on this one as well. I'm also doing a funding challenge on the 55%. So I told you guys I'm trying different funding firms because I want to find the best one. Because a part of my trading program, at the end of the trading program, I'm gonna have a mini course on how, like, what's the best funding firms and what's the best strategy for that specific funding firm. And I want to help you guys. Like, I want to help you guys change your life and get funded. And so that's the whole idea with the RLZ trading and the trading program. So right now on the 55ers, it has a time limit of 6 months. I have about 5 months left, and I'm at 10,300, and my goal is 10,600. So I'm halfway there. If you look, so I'm halfway to the profit target on this one, and 5 months left. So this is like, for me, just if I just continue trading like I've done this week, I'm most likely going to get funded on this account in probably a month or two. Another one I'm doing is City Traders Imperium, which is a 7.5K funded account. And this one, the profit target for this one is 9%. And I'm currently, I believe, at 4% in profit on this one. So yeah, exciting times. If I get funded on this, I'm pretty close to having $1 million to trade with, which is just fucking mind-blowing. I mean, imagine it took me 6 years to go from homeless to trading $1 million. Wow. I gotta pinch myself some days to really remind myself of what the fuck is going on, Holy shit. So yeah, that's that. Now let's see. So that's the actual trading journal. Let's see if we have anything interesting going on. So yeah, we have the AUD CHF trade. That is, it has hit TP1. I think I have to adjust the TP, the stop loss on this one as well. So let's see, what's the stop loss here? Have I moved stop loss to entry? So what's the entry here? 63742. 63747. All right, it's 447. 63747. Why is it 63747? Why is it 747? Where is that? It's gonna be up here. All right. Yeah, that works. Yeah, all right. That's the actual entry. That's the actual entry. So that's AUD CHF. Now we have another open trade on gold, which is looking very good. We have our stop loss here in profit. We're waiting for that last TP to get hit. And, we have the CPI data coming out today, which is, I mean, come on. I mean, there's not a lot of point in me trading when I've already made, this week. I mean, only this week I've made almost hit the target of one of the funding firms on only 1 week. Like there's no, like look at the equity curve right here. There, like this tells me, I mean, it's slow, and this is just such a good example of having many small losers and many small winners, and then occasionally you have these weeks right here, which kind of takes you out of out of this slow and steady move, right? So I'm expecting, and we can do some TA on this, because actually an equity curve is supposed to kind of look like this, have a nice 45-degree angle with a lot of ups and downs. So we can expect the equity to kind of go down to these levels right here, which is absolutely okay. Going from a 6% to like lose, like that's okay. Now, what's interesting here about this portfolio is I have a very strict risk management and trade management system, right? Where I try to secure the positions and exit the losers early, but still be very, very patient with the winners. So you can see here that the max drawdown on this whole account is only 2.27, which means at any given point, I've only lost a max of 2.27% of whatever's in the account at that time, which is, in my opinion, really good. Really good. I mean, you're going to see people having, you're going to see people have, a 90% win rate or an 80% win rate, and but they're not going to show you this. They're not going to show you all the specific statistics of their trading journal. They're just going to show you like crazy win rate and the crazy R trade. But what we're interested in is what's your max drawdown? Because if this return, if it would say 50% here instead of 5.8 or 5.78, if it would say 50% here instead, that this would probably say like 30%. So if you have like an insane return on a week like this, your max drawdown might be just too big. And you're, for example, you're never going to get funded with anything like that, because if you go to the 55ers funding firm, they have a max drawdown of 6%. If you lose 6% of your funding capital, you're gone. They're going to take the money away from you. Lark funding, I believe, has 5%. So if you lose more than 5%, you're gone. So the idea here is to preserve your capital and risk very, very small amounts on each trade, and just following a slow and steady and disciplined process. And if you do that, you're going to see your equity curve slowly but surely move up higher. Now, you might ask yourself, like, how am I supposed to be making money on these returns if I only have, I don't know, like $5,000 in your account? Well, you're not going to make a lot of money. That's the idea. That's the thing. You need money to make money in this game, and that's the beauty of funding firms. You need, in my opinion, at least, you want to have like at least 100K USD to trade with until like before you even think about going full time. Before you even think about going full time, you should at least have 100K to trade with on your personal capital. Now, funding firms, you'll be able to get up to millions of funding capital much quicker than it takes for you to save up 100K USD. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So let's do a quick scan here. So gold is looking great. We're just gonna keep stop loss where it is, and we're gonna wait for profit to get hit here. ADCHF also looks great. We have the stops at entry right here, and we're just gonna be observing the markets here today. We're not going to be doing much because of the major news event that we have coming up. But let's do a scan here to see if we can find anything interesting. First thing I like to do is, of course, go through the alerts from the indicator, the RLZ indicator. And honestly, like you, all of this, and like all of these stats right here, and the fact that I'm able to stay very disciplined and just have a very simple, disciplined approach. It's all because of the indicator. Honestly, it's all because of the alerts from the indicator. USD JPY gave us a good short signal right here. That was not confluent with the system, however, so that would not be a trade. We'll look at AD USD, long signal, interesting long signal, definitely a very interesting long signal. But do we want to open a new trade on AD USD with the CPI news coming up? Not really. But what I like about this one is, it's hitting an interesting area right here. Now, this would probably not be tradable on the 4 hour, but if you go to the 1 hour, you have a beautiful, beautiful trade setting up right here, and this is on. And it looks like it's also about to give us a long signal here on the 1 hour as well. But look at this, beautiful. Comes down, hits the reload zone right here. Perfectly hits the reload zone, long signal right here. What you want to do is you want to probably enter somewhere around here. Stops below the RLZ. TP1. Well, you know what? You would probably want to have entry down here is what I would want to have. And then, yeah, so that would probably be a decent trade. But I'm not going to take that one. So let's continue. Like, if I'm going to take a trade now, only 4 hours before the CPI, it needs to be very, very high quality trade. Nothing here. EGLD. So we looked at EGLD. Looking very good. There's a lot of long signals here on altcoins, like a lot of them. This one worked out very nicely. But it's too late to enter these, basically. What I'm interested in is Algo, because we had a trade idea on Algo, and I want to see if it hits that last TP. Almost. It's pretty good, though. Definitely a good one. But I think with Bitcoin as resistance, it's just useless to look at crypto market. Honestly, like it's not going to be anything interesting. Even if we do find anything interesting, it's just going to be a bad idea to enter anything. All right, so this is a good trade. Shout out to Mo who entered this one. I stayed out of this one because of the fact that it was below the weekly open, but I do know we have one member, Mo, entering that one. Remember, he talked about that one, and I told him not to enter. He did anyway, so good thing he didn't listen. So that's NCD CHF, NCD JPY. So we can definitely see a lot of stuff going on here. And what's interesting here is the fact that we're getting a lot of rejections, right? So we have Euro. Let's look at, for example, we have NCD JPY creating a top right here, and GBP JPY creating a top, Euro JPY. There's a lot of interesting movements right here. But I do feel like when I usually look at that, that's a nice one. Usually what happens when I have a good week like this one, like when I began trading, or well, not really when I began, it was only like 2 years ago. I used to have like a really good week. And it's always the week after that good week where I give it all back. Like it's like clockwork. Like I have a good week, and then the week after I just give it all back, because you become overconfident and you become euphoric, and it's like, oh, holy shit, I'm such a good trader. I'm just gonna take more risk, and take riskier trade because I'm just so awesome. And then the market kind of comes along and tells you, you know what, you suck. So, and it's so like it's so normal for that to happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it very easy today. I'm most likely gonna take it very easy tomorrow and next week, because I need to kind of let my emotional balance kind of settle. And also, something I've noticed is when I become bullish, when I have good results, when I look at altcoins and it's long signals everywhere and everything's just pumping and everyone is bullish, like a lot of people will hurt, a lot of people will get stopped out. What we're seeing on Bitcoin here, in my opinion, what's most likely to happen is for us to retrace, and we're back in the old range, and everyone's like, oh god damn it, this goddamn bull market, and that's what I think will happen, because that's usually what happens. The market tends to usually go against most people. I mean, remember, 97% of everyone that tries trading will fail. So why follow the herd, right? Try to do the opposite of what everyone else is telling you to do, and you're probably going to be more successful long-term investing. If everyone buys Bitcoin right here, probably not the best idea to buy Bitcoin. We maybe, we get rejected, people get stopped out, and it's like, oh, we're back in bear market. Maybe that's the time where you should be accumulating. You should be accumulating when everyone tells you not to buy. You should be selling when everyone tells you to actually buy. And now everyone on Twitter tells you to buy. So maybe, be a little bit more conservative here. All right, so I think that's it for today's live stream. Again, I want to thank you all for joining, and I'm going to try to continue being transparent with everything, showing you my trades and showing you my trading journal and showing you the funded accounts and everything, to kind of show you what trading is all about. And it's very simple. Basically, all I do is I follow the signals of this indicator. I confirm the signals with the system. If it's a good trade, I take that trade if there's no major news event coming up. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you guys in the trading room to answer any questions. Take care.